Brock Lesnar, the Beast incarnate, has long been one of the most dominant forces in the history of WWE, a man whose presence alone could send shockwaves through an arena. Yet recently, fans have noticed an unusual silence. No surprise returns, no earth-shaking entrances, no Suplex City chants echoing across the crowd. The question naturally arises: where did Brock go? And what does the next chapter hold for one of the most fearsome competitors the wrestling world has ever seen? To understand the silence, we must first revisit the incredible rise of the Beast, the story of a small-town farm boy who became a world-renowned athlete, crossover superstar, and living legend. From farm boy to future champion, Brock Edward Lesnar's story begins far away from the spotlight, in the rural setting of Webster, South Dakota. Born on July 12, 1977, and raised on a dairy farm, Lesnar's early life was shaped by grueling labor that few children his age experienced. Daily chores meant rising before dawn, lifting, hauling, and working outdoors regardless of weather. These routines built more than muscles. They instilled discipline, toughness, and resilience that would become hallmarks of his career. Wrestling quickly became both an escape and a passion for him. His athletic gifts were obvious: immense strength, explosive speed, and a competitive drive that matched his physical attributes. Excelling in high school, he soon earned a scholarship to the University of Minnesota, a collegiate wrestling powerhouse. There he became a force, blending raw power with refined technique. The pinnacle came in 2000 when he won the NCAA Division I Heavyweight Championship, stamping himself as one of the most promising amateur wrestlers of his generation. That triumph wasn't just another title. It was a declaration that the farm boy from South Dakota was destined for something far bigger than he had ever imagined. The next big thing. Later that same year, Lesnar signed with WWE, joining the company's developmental system. Coaches and scouts immediately saw what others already suspected. He was a once-in-a-generation athlete. His combination of size, agility, and natural charisma set him apart in a business full of big men. By 2002, his main roster debut had arrived, and WWE branded him the next big thing. The name was bold, but Lesnar justified it within months. He dominated established stars, plowing through the roster with suplexes and power moves that looked almost unfair in their execution. Winning the King of the Ring tournament accelerated his momentum, but his crowning moment came at SummerSlam that year, when he defeated The Rock to become the youngest WWE champion in history at 25. Fans couldn't believe the speed of his rise. It was as if WWE had launched a rocket overnight. For Lesnar, it was proof that he didn't come to wait patiently in line. He came to dominate from day one. Rivalries that defined an era. The early years of Lesnar's WWE career are remembered for the rivalries that helped showcase his versatility. His feud with Kurt Angle remains a masterclass in blending storytelling with technical excellence. Angle, an Olympic gold medalist, pushed Brock in ways few could, and their WrestleMania 19th showdown is still considered one of WWE's greatest matches, highlighted by Lesnar's daring and nearly disastrous attempt at a shooting star press. His clashes with The Undertaker were wars of attrition, brutal battles that tested endurance and creativity. Against Big Show, Lesnar delivered one of the most iconic moments in SmackDown history, a superplex that caused the ring to collapse, leaving fans stunned. These rivalries weren't just matches. They were showcases of what Lesnar represented, a once-in-a-lifetime talent who could go toe-to-toe with anyone, whether it was a technical wizard, a supernatural icon, or a giant. The first exit and NFL experiment. Despite his rapid ascent, the grind of WWE's schedule began to wear on Lesnar. By 2004, just 2 years after his debut, he stunned fans by walking away from the company at the height of his powers. The decision was rooted in exhaustion and a desire for new challenges. That next challenge came in professional football. Despite not playing since high school, Lesnar signed with the Minnesota Vikings as a defensive tackle, hoping to carve a path in the NFL. His raw athleticism impressed coaches, but inexperience and injuries held him back. A preseason roster spot was the closest he got before being released, ending the brief experiment. Still, the attempt revealed something important about Lesnar. He wasn't afraid to bet on himself, even when the odds were stacked against him. Rebirth in the Octagon. When football didn't pan out, Lesnar sought another battlefield: mixed martial arts. In 2008, he signed with the UFC, and the announcement alone sent shockwaves through both wrestling and MMA communities. Critics dismissed him as a crossover stunt, but Lesnar's NCAA pedigree and sheer physical presence made him a legitimate threat. His second UFC fight, against former champion Frank Mir, ended in defeat, but Lesnar's power was undeniable. Just 2 fights later, he defeated Randy Couture to capture the UFC heavyweight championship. In doing so, he legitimized himself in a sport that demanded respect. His reign was short but significant, with UFC 100, his rematch victory against Mir, becoming one of the most watched and profitable MMA events of all time. Lesnar's crossover success was unprecedented. He wasn't just a WWE attraction, he was a global sports phenomenon. Health battles and resilience. Yet even the Beast had vulnerabilities. In 2009, Lesnar was struck by diverticulitis, a severe intestinal illness that nearly ended his fighting career and threatened his life. He underwent multiple surgeries and lost a significant amount of weight. For an athlete whose identity was tied to physical dominance, the struggle was humbling. Fans watched as Lesnar battled back with determination, proving that resilience was just as much a part of his DNA as raw power. Though his MMA run ended in 2011 after a loss to Alistair Overeem, the fact that he returned at all after such a health scare was a victory in itself. His perseverance in the face of adversity deepened the respect many had for him, showing that the Beast was human but unbreakable. The Beast returns to WWE. In 2012, WWE fans got the shock of a lifetime when Lesnar returned after 8 years away. This wasn't the same next big thing. This was the Beast incarnate, a legitimate former UFC champion with an aura unlike anything the company had seen before. His first night back, he demolished John Cena, sending a clear message that WWE had entered a new era of dominance. From that point on, Lesnar was booked as a special attraction, wrestling fewer matches but making every appearance feel seismic. Whether destroying Triple H, dismantling CM Punk, or clashing with Roman Reigns, Lesnar's presence guaranteed spectacle. Unlike other part-time stars, he wasn't just passing through, he was redefining what it meant to be a box office draw in modern wrestling. Breaking the streak. Then came WrestleMania 30 in 2014, a night that changed wrestling history. Facing The Undertaker, who held an unthinkable 21-0 undefeated streak at WrestleMania, Lesnar was not expected to win. Yet in a shocking twist, he pinned the dead man, breaking the streak and stunning the world. The silence in the arena as the referee's hand hit the mat was unforgettable. Fans stared in disbelief, their faces etched with shock. For years, the streak had been sacred, untouchable. But Lesnar was chosen to end it. That decision remains controversial, but it cemented his status as the ultimate conqueror, the one man trusted to break the unbreakable. Suplex City, redefining dominance. If breaking the streak defined Lesnar's mystique, SummerSlam 2014 defined his brutality. In a one-sided demolition of John Cena, Lesnar unleashed 16 German suplexes, a performance so overwhelming it birthed the phrase Suplex City. That night rebranded his style. Minimal moves, maximum destruction. Fans loved it, and opponents dreaded it. From then on, whether facing Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, or Goldberg, Lesnar's matches carried the promise of chaos. The simplicity of his offense made his bouts feel more like prize fights than performances, cementing his place as WWE's most intimidating presence of the modern era. Championships and achievements. Over the years, Lesnar's resume has become staggering. Multiple reigns as WWE Champion and Universal Champion, a King of the Ring victory, and a Royal Rumble win highlight his dominance. His ability to hold titles for extended reigns, often with sporadic defenses, frustrated some fans, but it also reinforced his aura of invincibility. Combined with his UFC Heavyweight Championship, Lesnar holds a distinction almost no one else in sports entertainment can claim. Dominance at the highest levels of both professional wrestling and legitimate combat sports. It's a legacy few can match. Life beyond the spotlight. For all his fame, Lesnar is not a man of glitz and glamour. He lives far from Hollywood or the bright lights of New York, preferring the quiet of his farm in Saskatchewan, Canada. There, with his wife, former WWE star Sable, and their children, he embraces privacy. Hunting, farming, and family life keep him grounded. Lesnar has admitted he avoids public attention whenever possible, even skipping crowded airports or media events. This retreat from the spotlight isn't weakness, it's balance. It allows the Beast incarnate to recharge, ensuring that when he does appear, it feels monumental. The mental side of the Beast. Behind the imposing exterior lies a man who has openly acknowledged struggles with anxiety. In interviews, Lesnar has explained how performing in front of tens of thousands leaves him emotionally drained, often requiring days of solitude to recover. It's a side few fans see, but one that humanizes him. By speaking about mental health, Lesnar has shown vulnerability, proving that even the most dominant athletes face internal battles. This candor adds depth to his character, reminding fans that behind the suplexes and snarls is a person navigating the same challenges many face: controversies and setbacks. Lesnar's career has not been without controversy. His failed drug test following UFC 200 in 2016 earned him suspension and criticism, sparking debate about his MMA legacy. In WWE, his part-time schedule has often divided fans. Some argue it diminishes the championship, while others believe it makes his appearances feel even more special. Yet through it all, Lesnar has remained true to himself, playing by his own rules and rarely pandering to outside opinion. For better or worse, that independence is part of what defines him. The advocate and the aura central to Lesnar's success in WWE has been his partnership with Paul Heyman. As his advocate, Heyman became the voice of the Beast, delivering promos that elevated every storyline. Heyman's words crafted narratives, built anticipation, and turned every Lesnar appearance into an event. Together, they created one of the most effective duos in wrestling history. Heyman didn't just hype Lesnar, he explained him, framed him, and added layers to his already intimidating presence. Without Heyman, Lesnar was terrifying. With Heyman, he was mythic. The current silence. As of now, Lesnar's absence from WWE is noticeable. The man who once defined dominance hasn't been seen in months, leaving fans to speculate about retirement, a surprise return, or even new ventures outside wrestling. Yet, if history has taught us anything, it's that Brock Lesnar thrives on unpredictability. Just when the industry counts him out, he storms back in unforgettable fashion. The current silence, then, may not signal the end. It may simply be the calm before another earth-shaking storm. Conclusion: the legacy of the Beast. Brock Lesnar's career is a saga of dominance, resilience, and reinvention. From his beginnings on a small farm to his reign as NCAA champion, from WWE Phenom to UFC heavyweight champion, and from WrestleMania conqueror to Suplex City mayor, his impact is undeniable. He has lived a life of extremes, private yet public, human yet monstrous, vulnerable yet invincible. Whether he wrestles again or fades into his quiet Canadian farm, his legacy is secure. Lesnar will always be remembered as one of the most intimidating, accomplished, and unforgettable figures in sports entertainment. The silence of the Beast may feel strange, but if history is any guide, it is only temporary. When he returns, and he always does, the impact will be nothing short of earth-shattering.